Sunday night in the Caribbean, man. Hubert McIntosh is a member of the Society for Financial Awareness, and he's the man.
Financial literacy provided by Hubert McIntosh,
CPA.
Financial literacy. Control your financial status.
Here's your host, Hubert McIntosh, CPA.
Good evening, good Sunday evening to you in South Florida, the Caribbean, and the rest of the world. This is Hubert McIntosh, your CPA, and a member of SOFA, the Society for Financial Awareness, with one goal: to help eradicate financial illiteracy in America and around the world, one community at a time. And I've joined with SOFA to bring it to this community. So thank you for joining us. 3 years ago, FINRA released a study that 74% of Americans were financially illiterate. So, me bringing financial literacy to this community, we are gonna be able to dispel that statistic. That 74% that FINRA spoke about this community will not be a part of that. So I thank you. Remember, we are in Sunday school, so you know what happens. You have time, get your pen, get your paper. So we are focusing. We finished up last week with reverse mortgage, and we started Medicare. So, and we pointed out that if there were any items or anything you missed about the reverse mortgage, you can go on the website, financialliteracy.info, and you can go to the YouTube page. We have a YouTube page there on the website. You can just click on it, and I would recommend that you subscribe to it. The subscription is free. There's no cost. All of this is complimentary. You subscribe to the YouTube page. And why is it that I says it's best that you subscribe? Because when you subscribe, anytime, any changes, any updates that are made, whether we added a program or we amend a program, you are gonna get an update that financial literacy has just added a program. It's like tonight's program. Tonight's program will be posted by Tuesday. So we normally want to say by Monday, but we give that extra day just in case if we have to clean up the recording, but it will be posted by Tuesday. So we are in the studio, 954-792-1170, 954-792-1170. As you know, we are with you Sunday nights, 9 to 10 p.m., but you have 24/7 access to us. You can call me directly if there are questions or concerns you have that you don't want to discuss it on the air. You can call me 754-366-7311, 754-366-7311. And you can visit us on the web, as I told you before, financialliteracy.info. I mentioned the YouTube page, but we also have a Facebook page. So you can link directly from the website to Facebook. And what we would like, if you don't mind, like our page. Because when you like our page, what happens is that, the crawlers with the Google and the search engine, it will help people to find us better. So the more you like it, it helps us where you're not keeping us a secret. And you can also share the link with your family and friends. Like even tonight's show, if you look on your Facebook page, you'll see that it was broadcasted there. So you can send the link to a family member or a friend, and they still have time to catch us on the to catch us live. You know, a lady last week, she mentioned that she was getting out of her car and her reception was gonna go, and oh my gosh, I forgot to remind her that she didn't have to just listen in the car. She can download the app. She can download the app, whether it's an iPhone or Android phone. She can download the app. She can listen online on the internet, you know. So I forgot. So for those of you, I just want to remind you that there are various ways that you can listen. You can listen from the app, WVS 1170. If you go in any one of the app store, that's what you'll find it at. And you can go to WVS1170.com. There's a link to listen live. And if you even go to financialliteracy.info, there's a link to WVS. Yes, we link WVS from Financial Literacy so that you can also listen live. So all of that you have. And you also have to watch live, you know, where you can watch live. And yes, I'm not doing any dancing, but at least you'll be able to see, well, I'm a real person. I'm coming to you live. Wow. So thanks again for joining us. I hope now I've given you enough time. You got your pen, you got your paper. Okay. So tonight we're going to dive a little bit into Medicare. As you know, if you didn't know, today is October 15th. Today is the beginning for Medicare recipients. It's called Annual Enrollment Period. It's called AEP. AEP started today and it ends at December 7th. What does AEP means? AEP is that one time of the year where a Medicare enrollee can do anything they want. They can change, they can add, they can subtract, they can do anything Medicare related. They can make amendments up through till December 7th. So why am I telling people they can make changes? Because you may have signed up and the plan may not have been working well for you. You may have been signed up where someone signed you up and you probably have not even heard back from that person, whether it's 2 or 3 years ago. So this is the year or the period of time in the year where you can make any changes, including adding to Medicare, you know. But adding to Medicare, if you're just coming on Medicare turning 65, that can be done anytime on your birthday. That can be done 3 months, between 3 months to 6 months prior to your birthday. So we're not necessarily talking about the person who has a birthday this month where they can come on to Medicare. The difference with that, if someone's birthday is October, right, and they're just coming on to Medicare, their enrollment effective date will be November 1st, right? If the person is just coming on to Medicare, just turning 65, just coming on to Medicare, your effective date will be November 1st, right? But for those of you who are changing, well, let me correct myself there. Not necessarily November 1st, but if you want it, it can go back to October 1st. But we are already at October 15th. So a lot of times people are not caring to go back to October 1st, but you could. So let's move forward with the effective date being November 1st. But if you make a change, to your Medicare that you're already on, that change, the effective date is January 1st, 2018. Okay? January 1st. So don't assume that if you make the change now, it's gonna be effective immediately. No. Any change you're making now is for the 2018 2018 period, which starts January 1st. Okay? So I hope we have cleared that up. So let's go through some Medicare Basics and what are your Medicare options, because sometimes it's a very confusing topic. So the first thing I want you to look at, okay, whether you're on Medicare already or you're getting ready to go on. And folks, for those of you who are not of Medicare age, please, I don't want you to tune me out or tune us out, because you know somebody. Come on, I'm looking at you. You know somebody who's on Medicare. You know somebody who's on Medicare. So hang out with us for the next, well, we already gone 12 minutes in the hour. So hang out with us for the next 48 minutes, because you may get something that you can share with somebody. Yes, you may. So don't think, well, oh my gosh, he's just talking about the seniors now. Yes, I'm talking about the seniors, but we all, every one of us, I challenge you, I'm looking at you, every one of us as a senior in our life. If you don't have a senior in your life, then that's another program that we'll have to talk about another time, because I'm very concerned with you if you don't have a senior in your life. But that's meddling right now. We're not going to go down that road, but that's another issue that we'll have to deal with on another show, but we're not going to deal with that tonight. So I am going forward with the assumption that you have a senior in your life. And when I say a senior in this case, in case of Medicare, we're talking about someone who's 65 and older. Okay? And remember, no, I don't want it to be confused. Medicare is not just for people 65 and older. There's another qualification. It's 65 and older or disability. Okay? But we're moving forward with the 65 and older. So here's the thing. Whether you're on Medicare or you're planning to, here's what I want you to stop and consider. I want you to stop and consider this before we start. Think about this. So come on this journey with me. Think about what you want and need. Think about that. What you want. You notice I specifically say what you want. Not Mrs. Jones next door, not Mr. Robinson next door. Because some of you are taking advice from Mrs. Jones and Mr. Robinson. Yes, we know they're in the neighborhood, but that's not where we're going. I want you to think about what you, yes, you, what you want and need most from your plan, and then choose the coverage that's right for you. Yes, choose the coverage that's right for you. So the fact that I said that, I am implying, and I'm also gonna express it now, not every Medicare plan is for everybody. Medicare is not something that suits everybody. Each plan, I'm not saying Medicare in general, Medicare has multiple plans. Yes. So you, I'm looking at you. You have to think about the plan that suits you. And those are what some of those we're going to share with you. We're going to share some of the insights. I started last week. I told you about a gentleman. I didn't call his name. I'm not putting him out there. 70 years old. Been on Medicare for 5 years. He thought that there was only one way to be on Medicare. You see, what happened, he had started his Social Security, and the Social Security Administration signed him up. Yeah, they signed him up for Medicare. So he got a notice. He got a notice that, hey, you are now on Medicare. And what happened, for those of you who are on, what he got his red, white, and blue card. Yes, he got his red, white, and blue card. Because when you sign up for Medicare, you get your red, white, and blue card. I don't know if it shows it that way for it to be red, white, and blue because of the flag. I don't know. I'm just going to assume. Medicare been around since 1965. So I'm not sure if that was it. But the card you get a lot of times, if you even asking a senior, you ask them for their Medicare card, they don't even know what you mean. But if you say, do you have your red, white, and blue card? They'll say, oh, yes, that's it. Oh, the red, white, and blue card. Yes, I got my red, white, and blue card. And it's so interesting. You ask that same person for their Medicare card. They don't even remember that it's Medicare card. They just remember it's red, white, and blue. So this gentleman got his red, white, and blue card. Yeah, because he got signed up by the Social Security Administration. So when they signed him up for Medicare Part A, right? Because the Social Security Administration can only automatically sign you up for Part A, and the people that Social Security sign up for Part A, they already qualified by two criteria. One criteria was the fact that they have 10 years or 40 quarters in the system. When you have 10 years or 40 quarters in the system, you are automatically eligible for Medicare Part A. Yes, you're automatically eligible. So Social Security, because you passed that qualification, so you have 40 quarters in the system, and you are now 65, so you automatically enroll in Part A. But you're also eligible for Part B at that time. So you're saying then, why they sign him up for Part A, but they didn't sign him up for Part B? Because Part B has a premium. Yes, right now the Part B monthly premium is $135, somewhere there. $135, I think it's $134.90, but we're not gonna get technical over 10 cents, right? So $135 is Medicare Part B. So why they couldn't sign him up automatically is that would be a violation, because you cannot sign up somebody automatically and they would have to pay that premium. So what am I saying there? You have people that's on Medicare Part A, but even though they're eligible for Part B, they have not enrolled in Part B. Part B, you cannot be automatically enrolled in Part B. You have to request. Yeah, you have to request to be in Part B. So you have Part A, which is hospital. Part B, I told you, is doctors, urgent care, and stuff like that. And you know what's interesting? Where sometimes there's a little confusion where sometimes a senior, or not even a senior, anybody, even myself, a couple of years ago, I went to the emergency room and I even forgot. Here's this thing. I am teaching you guys and I forgot something. So I went to the emergency room. The eye doctor sent me. I went to the emergency room. So, they register me there. They register me to do some test. And what I forgot that they are registering me for the hospital. Yeah, they register me for the hospital. But guess what I forgot? Because when I left, I don't remember. I think the insurance, I don't remember the full detail. But what happened? I got two bills. So what you think? And both bills were similar because it was my deductible or something like that. I don't remember if it was deductible or copay, but I got two bills and they were round about the same amount. So guess what I assumed? I thought they duplicated the bill. So I called the hospital and the hospital is telling me, so I asked, hey, what's this? I got two bills. I was there on, I think it was December 24th. I think it might have been Christmas Eve or something like that. And I got two bills. So I called the hospital and I'm saying to them, hey, what happened? You duplicate. And they ask me my name. They check out some things and they tell me, they say, Mr. McIntosh, no, the bills are not duplicated. I'm like, what do you mean they're not duplicated? I was very happy. They said, sir, if you look at it, one of the bill is for the hospital. The other bill is for the doctor. Do you remember the doctor saw you while you were in the emergency room? I'm like, oh my gosh, yes. The doctor saw me. So you have two bills there. You have the doctor bill, you have the hospital bill, and you have the doctor bill. So what is happening now? And here it is. This is something I am teaching, I am doing, and I forgot this. So I can only imagine the senior now who goes to the doctor, goes to the hospital, right? Because sometimes we want to think, well, because we are at the hospital, all the bills are hospital bills. No, big misconception. Some of the bills are doctor's bills. Not all the bills are hospital bills. And this is the part where sometimes can get confusing because you as the senior, you're in the hospital bill and you're saying, well, Medicare Part A covers this because I'm in the hospital. No, the doctor bill, some of the doctor bill covered by Medicare Part B. Medicare Part B. And you might, oh my gosh, Hubert, so why are you boring us with that? Because if Medicare covers Part A and Part B, then we already know that. Yeah? Okay. Well, I'm gonna put a monkey. What's it saying? I don't know. Are you gonna put a monkey in the wrench? Or are you gonna put a monkey wrench in it or something like that? Here's the challenge. Here's what I'm getting to. Took a long time to get to it, but here's what I'm getting to. There are Medicare plans that you are responsible for 20% of that of Part B. Did that sink in? You are responsible for 20% of that Part B. So here's the challenge now. What if while you were in the hospital, the doctor bill, I'm not talking about the hospital bill, the doctor bill is $10,000. Do you know you are responsible for $2,000? If that's the plan you have. You're responsible for $2,000 because you're responsible for 20%. So this gentleman I'm telling you about, back to him now, he led me to share this story. That's why I'm sharing this story, is the sense that he's been on Medicare, original Medicare, where they automatically signed him up. And for 5 years, he thought that was the only plan. And he says to me, well, nothing has happened. Everything has worked good. And I said, lucky for you. Lucky for you, nothing happened because he did not know that he was responsible for 20% of Part B. He did not know. But because he never had to deal with it for 5 years, so he was fortunate there. Not all of you not all of us gonna be fortunate for that, where we're gonna get on at 65 and by 5 years, we don't have to use Part B. So what I am trying to do is to bring that education to you so that you're not confused and you don't get caught up in that, because you getting a $10,000 bill from the hospital is not a nice feeling. And I'm being nice when I said 10,000. Suppose the doctor bill was 20. Do you see where we can go with this? Because here's the thing. Here's the thing, folks. Here's the thing. And I know some of you are going to say, oh my gosh, that's not fair. But remember, we're in the studio. 954-792-1170. 954-792-1170. This is Hubert McIntosh, your CPA and a member of SOFA. SOFA, the Society for Financial Awareness, with one goal: to help eradicate financial illiteracy in America and around the world, one community at a time. And I have joined SOFA, and starting with this community, my goal along with SOFA is to help eradicate financial illiteracy. So give us a call. Give us a call, share your comments, share your questions, because I know a lot of you who are listening, you're familiar with these topics. And for my medical reps, you didn't think I have fans who are medical. Some of you, if I misspeak, please correct me. Please correct me, because I don't want to give the people bad information. So if I'm talking bad or wrong about the hospital, then please correct me, okay? So thank you all. I know some of my most seasoned listeners are in the medical field. You know what? How you think I get this knowledge? They share a lot of stuff with me. What, you think I just got all this knowledge by myself or from? No, it's from interaction with other people. Because remember, I talk you about circle of knowledge, whereas if what you thought to be true turn out not to be true, when would you want to know? And I'm hoping it would be right now, because what happened, our circle of knowledge, each of us has a circle of knowledge. Our knowledge increases in a few ways. Yeah, it's not many ways. It's probably three main ways that's our knowledge increases. Our knowledge increases by the things we read, the books we read, the informational that we search for and read. That's one way to increase our knowledge. Another way is by the places we visit and by the experiences we have had. Places we visit and the experience we have had. And the third is by the knowledge, is by things that others have shared with you. Those are the three basic ways, are the most common ways of increasing your knowledge. So let's get back to this Medicare thing now. So remember, we're in the studio, 954-792-1170. So why I took that time to give you that foundation, and because I want you to understand, and I know sometimes you understand something better by me sharing that story with you. And when I say story, in a sense, I'm not talking about a fictional story. None of these stories are stuff that I'm sharing with you. I'm sharing from experience and what others have shared with me. It's not fictional story, but with me sharing it that way, it will help you to remember better. Oh my gosh, I have said it over and over. That's the fastest hour in the week. I don't know why. The fastest hour in the week. It's Sunday nights, 9 to 10 p.m. I don't know why. I just sat down here in the studio getting ready to dive in. And oh my, it's midway already. And I got to go pay some bills. I got to take a break. So stick and stay. Don't move that dial. We will be right back. Welcome back. Thank you for sticking and staying with us. This is Hubert McIntosh, your CPA and a member of SOFA. SOFA, the Society for Financial Awareness, with one goal, one mission: to help eradicate financial illiteracy in America and around the world, one community at a time. And I have joined SOFA to bring that education to this community so we can dispel that statistics that FINRA released 3 years ago about Americans being financially illiterate, 74% of Americans being financially illiterate. What our hope and goal for this community is that we don't fall into that statistic. What we're hoping for is when they're talking about that statistic for the rest of the country, then this community will be able to brag that they don't fall into that statistic because of a program like financial literacy that airs every Sunday night at 9 p.m. on WVS. Well, we understand that we have a caller. So, caller, you're on the line.
Sir.
Hello?
Hello?
Yes, caller.
How are you doing, sir?
I am doing pretty good. Yourself?
I'm hanging in there, man, trying to make it.
Okay, all right, okay.
I have a little problem which I cannot seem to get the right information on certain things because I've been to Social Security office, but they given me, to me, like, they don't give me the right information.
Okay.
Well, with my, I have Medicare and Medicaid, which I apply for separately after they send me over to Medicaid. Right? Medicaid pay my premium.
Yes.
And so on. And I have Part B, so they take care of, my doctors and so on. But as you mentioned just now, there are certain things that we might be ignorant of.
Right.
But what I really concern about is my Social Security benefit. I cannot find an attorney who really handle those type of situation.
An attorney
concerning you say 40 points in a quarter.
Yeah, 40 points overall make you qualified for Medicare.
What?
40 points. Each quarter has 4 points. So basically, it would be 10 years of working in the system make you eligible for Medicare. So that's the 40 points. It's 10 years. So you can look at it 40 points, 10 years, or, that's how that works.
Yeah, but I was wondering what what are the requirements for the 40 points? If there's a specific amount that you have to contribute?
10 years. If you work in the system, for 10 years, and you made over $400. So basically, it's an average of $5,000 in income per year that you would have made over 10 years. That's the easiest way to look at it. So if you have not worked a total of 10 years in the system, but that's not you already have it. So you already qualified for that. So that wouldn't be you. What is the reason why you think you need an attorney? What's going on with you? Share with us. What's going on? Why you think you need an attorney?
Well, I think the amount that I'm receiving is really, for the full 40 points, as you say, or the 10 years.
Yes.
I just didn't get the full explanation of how much, you're supposed to receive after you do your 10 years or your 40 points or what. You
mean receiving Social Security benefits?
Yes.
All right, I'm glad you mentioned this because a lot of listeners on the radio is gonna like this. They're gonna want to know this because here's the big confusion. Here's the big confusion, and I see this happen here. So I'm glad you asked this question. This question is gonna serve so many people, and the answer is gonna serve. Here's a confusion. The 40 quarters or 10 years that you hear me mention, that is to be eligible for Medicare. Eligible for Medicare. All right? So you're eligible for Medicare and you're also eligible for Social Security. So here's the confusion. So here you have these 40 quarters or 10 years make you eligible for Medicare and it make you eligible for Social Security. So what's the disconnect? Here's the disconnect. A lot of times people not understanding how their Social Security benefits are calculated. Your Social Security benefits are calculated this way, and I'm going to break down the formula as simple as possible. Social Security benefits used 35 years. 35 years in the system. So take an example. What they do, they total the amount of money you have made in your entire working history in America. The total amount. So if you take the total amount you made in this country, whether you hear 10 years, 15 years, 50 years, they total the total amount and they take the highest. So if someone worked 50 years in this country, they take the highest 35 years, and the total, they divide it by 35. So here is someone now worked 10 years in the system, right? And they hear that, well, I'm eligible for Social Security, I'm eligible for Medicare. Whoa, I'm good. Well, let me tell you, you're not good yet. You're good for Medicare. You're not good for Social Security, because what's going to happen, that money that you made, if you only had 10 years in the system, that 10 years total is going to be divided by 35. You follow what I'm saying? So if you make, let's look at it this way. Let's say you did good and you made 100,000. We're gonna make this so easy. You make 100,000 each year, and for the 10 years, so you earned $1 million here in America. You're like, whoa! I earned $1 million in America. So my Social Security is gonna be good. Let me stop you for a minute. That $1 million is gonna be divided by 35. So when you check it out, that 35 divided into the million is gonna be just under 35,000. So then now what it says, the percentage now, so it takes now 40%. 40% of that 35,000, which if you take that now, it's $14,000. So your Social Security benefit now, so you're like, whoa, I made 100,000, but here is this now. This 35, it's now to $14,000. So your Social Security benefit is like $1,200 a month. Do you see what I've been talking about when I hear people says that their retirement plan is going to be based on Social Security? It cannot be. Social Security is a supplemental plan. I hope, my brother, for you and the other listeners, that your retirement plan, and I'm not saying this in a derogatory way, I hope and pray that's not your plan. Your because Social Security was never created to be your retirement plan. It's like a pocket money then. Social Security is like a pocket money to say, well, hey man, instead of buy one loaf of bread this week, you can buy
I
two.
could buy two.
You see what I'm saying? So you can buy bread and milk and meat, but don't think you're gonna pay no bills. Imagine the person now getting $1,200 a month for Social Security. If that is their income, where that person gonna live? How many places you know somebody can live where you're gonna pay rent, car payment, light, water, $1,200 a month?
Well, that's, to be sure, to be
So my brother, so that's why I'm glad you're sharing that, because what I'm saying to you, sometimes you think it's an attorney problem. You don't need an attorney for this. But take a note of my number that you can call me, and we can even look at your situation, especially, in the sense that you don't need an attorney. Don't let nobody go tell you $200-$300 an hour to explain something for you. Call us, let us work for you. Make a note of my number, 754 366 7311.
7311.
So you give me a call and we'll talk about your case specifically. But I wanted for all the listeners to hear that, because there is that disconnect, there's that confusion thinking, because sometimes you hear the 10 years and you says, yes, you're eligible for Social Security and you're eligible for Medicare. The Social Security, my brother, is being divided by 35 years. So after it's divided by 35 years, then the benefits is 40% of what the answer is. So you see the factor there. So you take the total, divide it by 35, multiply it by 40%. And that's an average of what your Social Security benefits gonna be. Okay?
Okay, thank you very much. I definitely want to give you a call.
Yes, give me a call, please, and thank you again for calling, because you have helped a lot of people by sharing that question and allowing me to share that answer. So thanks again, my brother, and I'm looking forward to hear from you. Okay?
Yes, sir. Keep up the good work, man.
Thanks a lot, sir. Really appreciate the feedback, because that's what it's about, us serving you. So thank again. You have a good evening.
Yeah, blessings. All right.
All right, my brother. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.
So I want to thank that caller, because what happened, he asked a question that's on a lot of your mind, and there's a lot of confusion. So even people that we have helped, and you guys have heard me say it, where someone will come into this country and they're at a certain age and they're like, well, I don't have enough years in the system, but there are ways we can teach you how you can develop the years in the system. It may not make you start at 65. I use an example with a lady where hers is going to start at 69. And you may say to me, but what's the benefit? Here's the main benefit. You hear me talk about the 10 years. The main benefit is not to collect Social Security. And I want that to be loud and clear, because if you work 10 years in the system, I don't matter how much you may have earned, 10 years in the system is not going to give you a lot of Social Security income. What it will give you, though, is Medicare benefits. Remember, that 10 years make you eligible for Medicare. If you are not eligible for that Medicare, do you know what would happen? You can get on Medicare Part A, You can get on Medicare Part A. Yes, someone can get on Medicare Part A without being eligible, without having the quarters. Yes, you can. But guess what? You're paying $400 and something dollars per month. I think it's either 408 or 480, something like that. I'll get the exact number. But that's what you're paying per month for Medicare Part A. and then you have to pay $135 for Part B. So you're talking about almost $600 a month for Medicare Part A and Part B if you didn't have that eligibility. So that's how important that eligibility is, okay? All right? So I thank the caller again. So let's go back to you now. We're talking back to you. We didn't leave that now. So before you start, you have to think about what you need most from your plan and then choose the coverage that's right for you. Because that's where it starts. Because here's it now. I've used the story and you have heard the gentleman call. Medicare Part A and Part B. When you hear someone goes on Medicare Part A straight from Social Security, that is called original Medicare. Original Medicare puts you on Medicare Part A. Okay? So I understand we have another call, and our aim is to serve you. So the calls, sometimes you may be intimidated in calling, but let me tell you, when you're calling, you're helping others. So we're going to go to this caller right now. Caller, you're on the line.
Good day, sir. Thank you.
How are you?
You did give out your number, and I didn't get a chance to get it. So could you please repeat it for me, please?
Yes, 754
754
366
366
7311.
Thank you, sir.
All right, no problem. Looking forward to hearing from you.
Yes.
All right, take care. Bye-bye. So the eligibility, the power of the eligibility, because you're wondering, you hear me stress the 10 years. You need that 10 years. You need that 40 points. You need that 40 quarters. So when you say when I say 40 quarters and 40 points, it's not I'm not misspeaking. Each quarter is 1 point. So each year you can get 4 points, 4 quarters, ends the 10 years. The power of that, you hear me keep harping on it, and I think it's necessary that I repeat it again. The 10 years allow you to get Medicare eligibility. Don't think of Social Security right now. I am telling you this right now. 10 years in the system, your Social Security is nothing to talk about. Because you do the math. You take the 10 years. You multiply your income over those 10 years. You divide it by 35 and you multiply that by 40%. You heard me just break down that someone who made $1 million, $1 million in 10 years, $1 million that person earned in 10 years, and their Social Security is going to be $14,000. So do you see what I'm talking about when I said to you that Social Security cannot be your retirement plan? Because here would be the smart thing now. And here's a plug now for our service. Here's a plug. Here what would be the smart thing. If that person that made $1 million over 10 years, if they had tightened their belt, not even, and save in a retirement plan, some kind of retirement plan, 10 to 20% of that $1 million, oh my gosh, that money, you would be surprised what kind of retirement that person would have had if they saved 10 to 20% of that money. Yes, even that money, because they could structure their own retirement plan. I am telling you. So for those of you who don't even know your numbers, there's this commercial. I'm not even sure who has it. On TV there you see it says, what's your number? I encourage you to find out your number. Find out your number. The other day I'm speaking to someone and says, yeah, but my number is going to be low. Okay. All right. So what if your number is low? Do you prefer to know the number or not? So you can choose not to know the number, and then every morning you get up. You're getting up with a wish and a prayer, and you're wondering if your number can sustain you. Isn't it better that you know your number? And you're like, oh my gosh, what number is he talking about? The number I'm talking about, remember I tell you, if you have a financial advisor and they're not giving you these numbers, there are 4 critical numbers that you need. Every financial advisor that you're dealing with should be giving you 4 numbers. And if they're not giving you these 4 numbers, you need to reassess your situation. And I'll just quickly give you the 4 numbers that they need, the 4 questions. And then if you need the number for yourself, we customize it and we give you your number complimentary. It's no cost to you. We only need 15 minutes and we can give you your number. So here are the 4 questions. Here are the 4 questions. I need to point this out because I know we're talking about Medicare, but my brother called and he mentioned his retirement with Social Security, and I'm a little bit concerned for those of you who out there may be thinking that your Social Security can be your retirement. Let me tell you, I don't know. You heard me gave you the formula. I gave you the formula. I told you to have pen and paper. So you don't need You don't need no rocket scientist to help you calculate this. I am giving you the formula again. Write down the formula. It's the total amount of money you have made in America. Total amount. And it's the gross wages, okay? It's not net. The total amount of money you have made in America, okay? And you're going to take that total. You're going to divide the total by 35. You get that part? You're going to divide it by 35. When you divide that number by the 35, you're going to get your average annual income. After you get that number, which is your average annual income, you're going to take that number and you're going to multiply it by 40%. Yes, 40% or 0.4. If you're putting it on your calculator, you're not sure how to do the 40%, you do 0.4. And that is gonna be, that number you're gonna get then is gonna be your total Social Security benefit for the year as an average. Okay, so don't do the math and then you say, Hubert, then I'm off by $40 or $50. No, it's an average. It's just an estimate. So that number you're gonna get now, that's the annual benefits. So then you're going to take that number to divide by 12 to get your monthly benefits. So that's in general. But remember, there are some other little specifics that I got to remind you. And remember, on the website, financialliteracy.info, we have the YouTube page. You can go to the YouTube. And there has been a show, I don't remember the date it was. We have a show in there on Social Security that we spoke about that. Okay, so you can get a full understanding of Social Security. Because regarding Social Security now, what you'll also have to consider is when do you take it? You're eligible for it at 62, right? You're eligible for 62, so you can take it at 62, 63, 64, all the way up to 70. You have an option. But remember, the government doesn't give free lunches. So if you've been hearing that the government giving free lunches, that's a myth. There are no free lunches. The earlier you take it is gonna be the less. Don't let anybody tell you crap that, oh, it doesn't matter when you take it. Yeah, it doesn't matter. Well, let me tell you, it matters. Whether you take it at 62, 63, 60, it matters. Because if you take it at 62, and here's the part, I'm going to blow some of you mind now. So I'm going to leave you with this because the clock is up and the time is up on us. Here's the difference. At age 62, if you take your Social Security at 62, you're getting 75% of what you could have gotten at age 66. That's 75%. And if you wait until age 70, then it's 132%. So here it is. You can get 75% or 132. But you got a lot of charlatans out there telling people to take it early because you don't know how long you're going to live because blah, blah, blah. If you died before 81, 82. Yes, it's easy to say that. Yeah, but what if you live till 100? Oh my gosh, the time is up on us. It looks like we'll have to come back to this because Medicare enrollment it started today, so give me a call, 754-366-7311, 754-366-7311. This is Hubert McIntosh, your CPA, member of SOFA. Go on the website, financialliteracy.info, financialliteracy.info. Email us, support@financialliteracy.info. This is Hubert McIntosh. Thank you for joining us. I will see you next week.
WAVS 1170 AM. Dave.